All right, welcome everybody. We are back with Kelly talking about trigger points. So the last couple of videos we've talked about the upper body. For the next two videos, we're going to talk about the lower body and more specifically the hip and your knee, right? And like you were saying before.
And even ankle, I think it might.
And the ankle, okay, yeah, that's good, bonus. So it's not necessarily to think that, you know, the pain is coming from your knee, it might be coming from your hip.
Yeah.
So what we want to try to help you understand is that listen to your body, you know, where you get the pain is not necessarily where it's originating from. So that leads to, you know, the trigger points. So without any further ado, let's talk about your hips.
Okay. So the referred pain, a good way I've heard it once too, is that when you have a heart attack, you don't feel it in your heart. You feel it down the arm. So it's the same thing. When you have a trigger point, you don't always, and most of the time, do not feel it where the issue is. You feel the areas that are getting affected.
Okay.
So in this case, why I talk about the hips so much, like I talked about the shoulders, highly mobile area, open to a lot of potential issues. And with areas we tend to feel it are low back. So I'll get a lot of times people come in, I need you to work on my low back, I need you to work on my low back. Why are you working on my hips? I'm like, and then I'll do the brushing like I talked about before, like with the percussion gun. I hit their low back, they're like, yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable. Then I hit their hips, then they jump off the table. And I'm like, do you see, like, this is the root cause? I know, but when I walk around, I feel my back. I'm like, I understand
because
that.
That's where it's referring.
Yeah, it's and usually I kind of think about an area that's trigger pointed. It just locks up.
Yeah.
And we almost have like no connection with it. It's like you call it like a dead space.
Yeah.
Until we push in on it. And then you're like, whoa, there's a lot going on there. So when we're talking about the hips, probably the most common muscle, there's two, but there's the most common is the piriformis. And I talked a little bit about it before, is that the piriformis pushes the thigh out. It's underneath the big gluteus maximus, the one you see. So it's hard to get at because it's buried under a large muscle. It also rotates the thigh out. And it's a stabilizer in balance, which I'll kind of, when I start talking about the ankle, I'll start getting into that.
Okay.
So the piriformis, the way to get at that, you're not going to really do a good job with your fingers. You could maybe, but it's just so much muscle mass you got to push through. So some of the better tools. Now, last time I talked about.
So help me out here. So if I were to use this bone as a reference, how far from that bone is that muscle that we're looking for?
I would say that the primary area is, okay, so here's the gluteus maximus.
Okay.
Here's the bone you're talking about. It's, depending upon your issue, it's somewhere in this region here. So the muscle runs across from that bone pretty much. It's not quite there, but it runs across towards the midsection of the body.
I can feel it, yeah.
But you're gonna feel it usually right around closer to the side. Like I said, pain's gonna show you.
Yeah.
You push around.
To me, it feels kind of like
There's also the
band.
medialis that you might feel up here, but it is a band. So the lacrosse ball that I showed for the shoulder might be, for most people, a little too small to really get into there. So you want to use a little bit larger ball. So this one actually has a vibrating mechanism. You feel it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how much that actually helps. It's supposed to act like a percussion therapy gun. I use it, but I don't know if it makes much difference. The ball itself, this is, I think this is 3.5 inches diameter. This is 5. This is a little bit bigger.
Have that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that expensive.
No, it's $20.
That to me.
You could even buy a kit where they'll have a couple of them, a lacrosse ball, whatever, and it's like $30 on Amazon. You can put links on there if you want.
This fits in your tennis bag.
Yeah.
I have that, and I use it as much as I can. It's so, like you said, it's so easy to just sit on it, and you'll find it.
You can hit your hamstring. You can hit, and that's usually tight, most people too. I like the little smaller one because it penetrates a little deeper. So the bigger the surface, the less it's going to penetrate, right? So that's why a lot of people are familiar with foam rollers. I don't have anything against them, but the surface is very wide. It does not penetrate very deep. It could be a starting point for like your hamstrings or your IT band on the side of the leg or the front thigh. But if this is painful for you, you're really tight. You can't do your hip really with this. It's not going to be able to go in there. So that's why I like the balls better. Number one, like you said, they fit everywhere. You can fit this in your tennis bag. It's nothing. But you would start you can go on the ground or on a chair. On a chair, you could actually, if it's really bad, you can kind of hold your weight up if your body weight's too much. But when you get on the ground, you can really roll into your piriformis here, which is primary.
Okay.
And then secondarily, in some people, the gluteus medialis, which is right up here, above that hip bone, and in here. So these are all stabilizers. So if you have an issue with balance, this could be a big indicator that the hips are not floating.
Yeah.
Because like when you go to step and there's balance, that's why I'm going to talk about the ankle next.
Yeah.
Or maybe on the next week, I don't know.
Yeah. Don't give everything at once.
Yeah.
So that made, sorry to interrupt right there.
Yeah.
There's a video that I did on the one-hander back end where I talk about the importance of thinking about the muscles that are in the front and the muscles that are in the back, because you need both. Like you said, one of them is giving you power, the other one is giving you balance.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about strengthening or when you're thinking about hitting a stroke, you have to think of both. You know, what's giving you the strength and what's giving you the balance. And my biggest thing is, you know, not to go on a rabbit hole, is your back.
Yeah.
Your back is the one place that you're supposed to be protecting. So the front, you know, muscles, you know, help you with the abdominals, all the power, and the back muscles are gonna help you not losing your balance. So think of it the same way when you're talking about.
Well, yeah. So that's a great point. So like what I was saying in a couple of videos back about the forehand and about the rotator cuff muscles stabilize, and the force comes from the pec.
Yeah.
Like that's where the power comes from, right?
Yeah.
But you like, just like you said, you use the word balance. I would say you need stability and you need power. So the power is your glute. That's what gives you your hip thrust, which gives you the power in your legs, right? The gluteus medialis and the piriformis are what give you the stability. So you can utilize the power. So if you just have all power, no stability, it's like having a car with a huge engine, you drive right off the road because you got no brakes, you got no balance.
Exactly.
So you need them both. And like I said, I'll talk about the ankle next in the next video. But a lot of the issues here have to do with, as we get older, falling, stability. So yeah, we're talking in the context of tennis, but some people are older tennis players. You don't want to fall on the court either, but you got to have those brake and steering muscles as well as the stability.
Yeah,
I mean,
To
it's
me,
not all power.
To me, after you hit 50, you really need to think more about what can you do to improve your stability.
Yeah.
Rather than how can I get more power? You're gonna get more power as a result of stability, because what's happening is that you're leaking power because there's no stability. So my biggest suggestion is let's try to work on stability, and that's why we're back to trigger points. So we're talking about a couple of places on your hip. How about your knees?
So the knee. Okay, so the knee is in most cases, it's primarily the hip that's the issue, and the ankle, which we'll talk about next. Because this is a very like linear moving, right? There shouldn't be a lot of rotation. So if the hip is not rotating, people tend to rotate at the knee. Like, so if you're moving through something and that hip isn't moving you, you start rotating your knee. You start over time. That's when people get knee replacements. The cartilage, the MCL, ACL, they're getting too much pressure. Now, there's one muscle that I would say that you could focus on for most people. It's this vastus medialis muscle. So this is the muscle that goes into the knee and supports it. So trigger pointing that would mean moving right up along this line here.
Okay.
And getting this to release. You also want to strengthen it. That's a whole nother conversation. But is getting this to release into the knee. But still, I would say that 80 to 90% of the issues people are having outside of like the low back and the knee, it's coming from the hip. 100%. I've never had a client over the age of 40 who does not have tight hips. And then they, my hamstring. Yeah, your hamstring's tight, but your hip's the issue. Let's go to the root cause, and then when we free that up, we'll see how's everything else functioning. And a lot of times, a lot of that stuff just cleans up.
That's great news.
So
this is a good place to stop.
Okay.
Because I want to save some for next week. Next week we're going to talk about your ankles, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about your knee. But again, just listen to your body, listen to where the pain is coming from, and don't overdo it. Don't play through the pain. There's no price for suffering. You know, it doesn't have to. What's the saying that everybody says? No pain, no gain. No,
Yeah.
you don't need pain. But anyway, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Kelly, for
welcome.
being with us and helping us with trigger points. And next week we're going to talk about your ankle.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.